Good evening, everybody. Today, I am going to share about the national education policy, which has got so much hype in the news, and as parents, as teachers, and of course, the students, all are listening from different various sources about the national education policy. So, in a nutshell, I will try to discuss and bring before you what it means for your child who is going to be reading in class 8 next year. This is class 7. So, the background is after 34 years of planning this policy, which is being framed by the top apex bodies, apex educationists, lot of researchers, lot of thinkers, and intellectuals of the country. They have brought this policy, they have drafted, and which has been approved by the cabinet, and now it is getting implemented. The purpose of this policy to be implemented is to give a platform to our students, Indian students, to stand as competent, confident, global citizen. Whenever in the global scenario we see Indian students always cut a sorry figure as far as the educational index is concerned, whereas it is with regard to innovative skill, the mathematical numeracy ability, about mostly the skill part, we always cut a sorry figure and our index is very low compared to the global index. So to convert the knowledge to skill, to develop the competency level in the students, this policy has been drafted. And from grassroots level, the curricula, the pedagogical structure is so designed that the holistic development of the children can be brought and will empower the children not as only knowledgeable person but as policy makers, as the future citizen. So what are the vision of the policy? I'm going to share my screen with you all. So vision of the policy is to develop an education system deeply rooted in the Indian ethos so that which has the capability to provide high quality education to compete in the global world. The curriculum and pedagogy must develop a sense of respect towards fundamental duties and Constitution of India and have a deep bond with the country. It will develop a sense of pride and respect for the country and be responsible for human rights, sustainable development, global well-being, thereby reflecting a truly global citizen. The key principles of NEP 2020 is to respect for diversity and local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. Emphasize conceptual understanding rather than rote learning for examination. So far, we had assessed any child and every child based on the percentage of score in the examination. The thinkers have understood that this is not going to help the student in a long run, and this loophole has to be rectified. We need to overcome by discouraging the rote learning method, and that is why the recognizing and identifying in each student their competency level, the unique capability hidden in them is coming to be the more important criteria in the assessment system under NEP. Equity and inclusion is coming as the cornerstone of all educational decisions. Encouragement and facilitation for philanthropy, private and community participation. Critical thinking and creativity is getting encouraged and going to be encouraged or facilitated in each and every child during the learning system. Use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers for all the students and in educational planning and management. And there will be a continuous review of the assessment on a regular basis by the educational experts in the NEP. Now coming to the transforming curricular and pedagogical structure from the previous academic and new pedagogy, what we are going to implement now. According to the previous academic structure, your child was reading up to class 10, starting from class 1 to class 10. Of course, before class 1, uh, like our school, many schools are offering nursery and prep, or what we say LKG and UKG. Then after passing class 10 board examination, the child was pursuing in all the system, whether it is state board or in central board. They were pursuing the studies of plus 2 level, whether it's science, commerce or humanities. But in the new pedagogical structure, there will be 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 structure. The 5 years of foundational learning, 3 years include the play, nursery and prep, that is LKG and UKG. After that, classes 1 and 2 are also included in the foundational course. Then comes the preparatory course, which comprised with classes 3, 4 and 5. Then classes 6, 7, 8 are known as middle stage, where your child belongs to the middle stage. Then comes the secondary, which is comprised with classes 9, 10, 11 and 12. So the age is same. The education will be completed by 17 plus, that is 18 years when the child will be. Earlier, the child was following 10 plus 2 system. Now the system will be, there will be no 10th board or plus 2 board. Classes 9, 10, 11, 12, all these 4 will be considered as secondary stage. Then shift to competency-based teaching, learning and assessment. Now there is more emphasis on critical and creative thinking of the children, which will be aligned to the 21st century in classrooms. Shifting traditional assessment to competency focused. In the traditional assessment, the child was learning, memorizing by rote method, and then producing on the paper examination, and we are assessing and giving some mark. And based on that percentage on which the child has faced the class 10 or plus 2 board examination, the child was seeking admission in various vocational courses. So the thinkers have understood that this is not going to develop the competency of the children. There were many children who were very good scorer in 10th and plus 2, but when it comes to practical field, to their competency, they failed there measurably. That is why the proper assessment has to be done based on the competency and the actual skill learned in the particular vocation by each and every child. For this, the students' progress need to be tracked comprehensively and frequently, for which the tools need to be designed to acquire the learning outcome by each and every child. So the curriculum will be reduced accordingly to the core essentials to minimize the rote learning. The curriculum will be designed in such a way that there will be no promotion of rote learning method, and assessment will also accordingly be changed. And another good news is that there will be promotion of sport integrated and art integrated learning in classroom for holistic development of child. There will be many players who may not be good in academics, but very good in sports. And we encourage now the modern system of education, it encourages the physical wellness and health as the core factor in the child's development. That is why it is mostly the promotion is given, encouragement is given to sports integrated learning. And art integrated learning doesn't mean, art doesn't mean here only painting or drawing. It is any creative form, any aesthetic form, like good debating, like dramatics, like mimicry, singing, dancing, or painting, any form of expression of creative knowledge is art integrated learning. That has to be, or collaborative approach, leadership, that is also a form of art. All these should be motivated and promoted in the NEP. Then salient features of stages in school. Of course, I have discussed a little about foundational stage, then preparatory stage. Your child falls into middle stage. So subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular methodology, subject teachers for learning and discussion of the abstract concept in each subject across the different subjects like mathematics, arts, social science, humanities. All these are going to be the forefront in the pedagogical structure. Then comes the high school, where your child is going to enter the secondary stage in the coming academic session. There are 4 years of multidisciplinary study, class 9, 10, 11, 12. The child, there will be no arts, science, or commerce. There will be 4 years of multidisciplinary study. Suppose your child is very good in mathematics. At the same time, the child is good in languages, and she or he is a good dancer or good sports person, or wants to pursue in NCC his career, or wants to take yoga as a subject, or he plays mouth organ or guitar very well. So, according to his hobbies or her hobbies, he can choose mathematics, English, or accountancy from commerce. At the same time, from art, any form of art he can choose, he or she can choose. So, there will be no certificate given the child has studied arts, science, or commerce. He will be given such certificate including all these subjects of his choice, which he has persuaded in the secondary stage. There will be greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater knowledge about to life aspirations. So whatever passion the child has, what are dreams the child wants to chase, it can be fulfilled. And there will be greater flexibility and student choice. Exposure to more subjects and enable greater opportunities and more frequent assessment of modules. Then this particular slide is not for you. The attainment of foundational literacy and numeracy by grade 3 in mission mode. So in this particular slide, I would like to highlight that every student must develop some expertise on the numeracy skill and the ICT skills, the technological tools and numeracy ability. To bring children back to school and prevent children dropping, of course, our children are very smart and parents are very concerned, so we don't expect any dropout of our students in between the school career. Then highlights of pedagogical structure. What the NEP emphasizes on competency-based education, modules on preparing and implementing pedagogical plans based on competency and outcome-based education for school leaders. Here, as we want to discourage the memorization, rote memorization of the students, mostly the assessment will be leading to the learning outcome. How much the child has learned, what in-depth analysis the child is able to do, how much critical thinking the child utilizes in solving any problematic situation, how the child can transfer the learning, apply the learning concepts in the practical field, in the practical situation. That is getting assessed, going to be assessed in the NEP, in the new assessment system. And there will be integration of subjects. So arts integrated, sports integrated, ICT integrated, and storytelling based pedagogy, among others, as standard pedagogy. Now, development of scientific temper. through inculcation of knowledge and practices, the human and constitutional values like patriotism, sacrifice, non-violence, honesty, peace, all these are going to be developed. We expect to get developed in the child. There will be no silos among subjects. As I told, there will be no difference, distinct boundaries between curricular, co-curricular, and extracurricular activities or subjects. The vocational subjects will be integrated into the academics. Science and humanities, there will be no barrier. Every child who is a sports person will be encouraged to do good in academics by choosing the subjects of his or her choice, as well as the artists also can pursue sports into their curricular choice. Emphasis on digital literacy. All of us know that this lockdown has taught a lot on digital literacy to each one of us, all teachers, parents, students. There is no option but to develop our technological skills, which has made us computer savvy, and digital literacy has increased like anything. So emphasis is on digital literacy, coding, computational thinking, ethical and moral reasoning. Promotion of multilingual skills. So promoting states to enter into bilateral agreements with nearby states to hire language teachers. Of course, your child will be exposed to learn more than 2 or 3 languages if he or she opts to. So there will be more scope for the child to develop language and literary skills. Yes, Sujal Raj Naik has raised the hand. Can you ask your question? You can unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay. I thought maybe it was by mistake. Encouraging 21st century skills in the classroom. Now, our endeavor is to prepare our students as global citizens, not only confined to the local resources, but to make them future leaders. So they must be confident of uh, leading the whole world under their charge, and that is why our purpose is to encourage the 21st century skills from the classroom within the 4 walls of our system. So they have to develop scientific temper. We know scientific temper means all the who's, how, what, where, when, all the W and H related questions the child need to inquire for each and every situation and find a solution to it. That is how we encourage the scientific temper in each and every student. And nowadays, mostly the emphasis is on collaborative approach. It is a age of world of the time of collaboration everywhere. We believe that more than one brain function or work more efficiently than a single brain. So collaboration, teamwork, team spirit, collective approach is the buzzword. Then digital literacy, as I told, coding language, the data science, computational skill, the machine learning language, the neural learning, all these need to be learned by the child, and online courses are available. Offline courses also are available. So your child, if he is getting prepared, he or she is getting prepared to lead the world, to be future leader, digital literacy is a must. That will enable the child to develop problem solving skill, then community participation, creativity, health and fitness, Jaan hai cho jahan hai, that already we have learned through this pandemic. Health and fitness, I don't think anyone among us has not understood what is the importance of good health. And that is how we have to teach our children to remain fit, to stay fit, and consistently take care of health. Social responsibility. Our India is famous for social responsibility. It is a leader of the world in showing, it has shown the world how to be responsible for our neighbor, for our surrounding, for our society, And we have great thinkers, great leaders, and that is how we have to train our little youngsters how to take care of himself, at the same time take care of the surrounding. Then ethics. As in the vision of national educational policy, it it has envisioned the transaction of Indian values, Indian ecosystem. We are proud to be Indian. We should be taking pride of our culture, our ethical values, and our tradition. And children need to appreciate, need to take pride. They must know what is to be a proud Indian, what it feels like. That is what it is. Parents, as teachers, it is our responsibility, and that is what the national educational policy is going to tell us. Through the pedagogical structure, we are expecting the curriculum based on that. Here, I take the privilege of sensitizing the parents. Just teach your child about his or her own country, the national literacy, the national heritage, the knowledge system we have, the tradition we have, and the child should take pride in it. Introduction of contemporary subjects. So, what are the new subjects your child is going to face? Artificial intelligence, holistic health, data science, machine learning, design thinking, organic living. Here, in all these new, organic living is a very common term. How to organically coexist with nature, how without harming the nature by chemical, by the fertilizers. How can we develop, grow, cultivate more crops and coexist with animals, plants, and the environment as a whole? Okay, that is going to be one of the major aspect of national education policy. Then year-long course during grade 6 to 8. Survey and hands-on experience is going to be in sampling of important vocational education such as carpentry, electric work, gardening, pottery making, etc. So here I would like to request the parents. Each and every human being has some passion, has some hobby. Some, maybe we are working in plant or educational sector or different offices. At the same time, we must have kept or nurtured certain hobbies, certain passion. Like some of us are good singer, good dancer, good in carpentry, metal fabrication, good at gardening, or good at cooking, embroidery, or painting. That maybe the list is endless. There will be a trail of different vocation which we have expertise, or the work field where we are serving, that also can be taken as a vocation. So I request the parents to volunteer only few hours of your expertise in the school to teach the students the vocation you would like to transfer, the expertise you would like to teach, would like to get translated in the young generation, to the young mass. So because it is a small township and we are having a very small catchment area where we are in a remotely located place, we cannot call part-time trainers who can share their experience or expertise among our students. So definitely I'll reach out to our cooperative supportive parents who will be delighted to share or contribute their few hours by teaching our students. By taking few hours of class, we can send a format, you can fill it up and send to school which area you would like to teach the students or you would like to take the class. So accordingly, we can settle at such certain agreement, or we can take the support of other stakeholders and work out on something concrete. So NEP says that local talents need to be, local skills need to be utilized by voluntary approach. So I take the privilege of this platform of inviting the parents, talented parents, to utilize their skills in training our students. Then mathematics and computational thinking, increased emphasis throughout the school year, starting with the foundational stage. Now, without the knowledge in computational thinking or mathematical ability, numerical ability, it is very difficult nowadays to pursue further technological skills in the advanced courses. That is why you need not be very good in mathematics, but mathematical skill is different. Good in mathematics is different. So I encourage your child to be apt to develop that aptitude in computational thinking and mathematical skill. In the vocational education, what I was talking about, it is mandatory by National Education Policy to conduct 10-day bagless period during grade 6 to 8 or 16-hour of period in a session for students to intern with local vocational experts such as carpenters, gardeners, potters, artists, etc. So being staying in a township, industrial township, we are very acquainted with the interns. We see from the different engineering institutes, the students come and do internship in NALCO in different department according to their stream. Here, what the student of class 7 or 8 is going to do, NEP has the vision of making the students profession friendly, vocationally sound from a very foundational stage. That is, from class 6 onwards, the vocational courses or the internship courses will start. Every child needs to do intern for a particular period of time in any particular vocation of his or her choice. The period will be given, the time will be given, and will get a certificate which will help him to pursue that particular vocation further. So that no child will be unemployed. No child will have any lack of practical skill. All of them will have sound vocational skills developed from a very basic level. Nowadays, vocational courses are available in online mode also. So the choice is up to the child. He can have a certificate through online mode or offline courses. Of course, the modalities of this particular course will be discussed afterwards in different fora. We are still expecting the curricular framework to be arrived. It is now under process. So this is about just you try to find out what is the aptitude of your child. My purpose is to sensitize you and to research, to do some assessment of your child's interest in particular area so that it can be facilitated in further years. The knowledge of India. Really, we should take pride to being Indian, and the same pride has to be transferred in the child from a very young stage. Sorry. Knowledge from ancient India and its contribution to modern India and its successes and challenges has to be told, retold, again viewed to the child. India's future aspirations with regard to education, health, environment, etc. The past is very rich. We are very proud of our past. And what is the future of India in all those fields? That has to be told, that has to be shown to the child so that the child will be prepared for facing the future and will give a platform to the child so that our student of today can see himself or herself in a bigger global platform, and he or she will evaluate what he is going to imbibe, how he is going to prepare so that he can or she can be the future leader. Indian knowledge system, including tribal knowledge and the traditional ways of learning, the specific courses in tribal medicinal practices, forest management, traditional organic cultivation, natural farming, etc., will be made available through the curriculum. And the children will learn all this, which will enable them to implement in their future course of action. An engaging course on Indian knowledge system in secondary stage as an elective will be given. Competitions in schools for learning various topics and subtopics through fun and indigenous games. Video documentaries on inspirational luminaries of India, both ancient and modern, in science curriculum. We know our rishis, our sages, our were great scientists, great astronauts, great aeronautical engineers, great medical professionals. So the children should learn all those going to getting extincted values, the knowledge, and will try to preserve them and apply them. Students to visit different states as part of cultural exchange program. Constitutional values will be developed in students about our Indian constitution, and this will be considered essential reading for the students. Knowledge of critical issues facing local communities, states, the country, and the world will also be given through the curriculum. In the health education, all of us have learned under the health education how important the health education for each one of us, not only for the child, for each one of us. So NEP has developed the curriculum, basic training in health, including the review of good health, mental health and well-being, nutrition, what is a good nutrition, what is balanced diet, so that our children will be able to maintain themselves fit and fine, personal and public hygiene and first aid, detrimental and damaging effect of the alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. Leveraging the power of multilingualism and language learning. Children whose primary language is uh, not English or Hindi, but they are forced to learn English as their first language and Hindi as the second language. Of course, the national and international language need to be learned so as to make them prepare to face the global challenges. At the same time, mother tongue as the other languages also are given due importance in the curriculum. So each child, those who love the literature, those who want to learn about more languages, they can be given option to choose more languages in the subject choice. The formulation of a new and comprehensive curricular framework for school education will be undertaken by the NCERT. The work is going on, the draft is getting ready, and based on the print of this National Education Policy 2020 and will be made available in the regional languages. All textbooks shall aim to contain the essential core components deemed important on a national level. And here in the pedagogical structure, NEP emphasizes that students should inculcate more reading habit, not only of their local literature, about other literature by learning other languages so that they can expand their knowledge. Now, transforming the assessment for student development. Here, in the new curriculum framework, the assessment will not tell us whether the child has passed or failed. The assessment will be a 360-degree assessment. Now, one is self-assessment. The child will assess what he or she is, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses of his or her. At the same time, there will be a new type of assessment which is introduced, peer assessment. How the child is exercising the cognitive, the affective, the psychomotor, all the domains in the classroom, outside the classroom, with the peers. The peers will observe and assess each and every child. So indirectly, this is going to check, both self-check And if we are checked by others always in a 360-degree manner, so automatically holistic development has to happen. The child has to undergo both internal as well as external transformation, because always there will be unseen check. He will know that all are observing me, how I am dealing, how I am showing the sincerity, whether in front teacher is there or not there, whether I am being monitored by parent or I am managing myself in marketplace, in society, in any other common gathering, or in school. So this peer assessment, I think it is a very good concept which is getting introduced. And self-assessment, peer assessment, then comes teacher's assessment. So teacher's assessment here, it is not only the assessment of the rote learning, the concepts what are being taught in the class. It is the overall assessment on all the domains, as I told, cognitive domain, which will be obviously based on the curriculum, the different projects, the collaborative mode of teaching learning process, how the child is being viewed by the teachers, by the peers, all these are going to be placed in the assessment. So shift from rote memorization skills to formative is more competency assessment. As I told, frequently the assessment will be held, not that half yearly, annual, or some trimester. There will be a formative, regular, continuous assessment. I think those parents whose ward has already passed out under CCE system, we had this formative assessment. So now again it is coming up. It is going to offer more opportunities for the child to get evaluated in a continuous manner. It promotes learning and development of students. It tests higher order skills such as analysis, critical thinking, and conceptual clarity. Whether the child has developed the concept in a sound manner or not, or only has learned the concepts from examination point of view. So how much the child is able to transfer the learning, apply the learning in a real life situation, in a problematic situation, how the child is enabling the problem solving skills in a particular field. All those are going to get assessed. Assessment for learning optimize learning and development for all students. This will be the underlying principle for assessment at all levels of education. So there will be assessment of learning, assessment for learning, and assessment from learning. So there will be 360-degree assessment. Then transforming assessment and tracking student progress across school years. So there will be assessment at different stages, after grade 3, after grade 5, after grade 8, and grade 10. And of course, after secondary stage, that is after grade 12. There will be no such board examination as such, but there will be 360-degree assessment, which will be a continuous assessment report card will be produced at the end of the education. Then redesigning report cards to assess holistic development of each child. In the holistic development of the student, no hard separation of curricular, extracurricular, and co-curricular, arts and science, sports and vocational crafts, curriculum to integrate Indian culture and ethics, as I told you earlier. There will be innovative pedagogies to be explored, such as experiential teaching learning methods. How much experience a child has learned while doing a project, while performing the experiment, while solving a particular problem. All those are going to get assessed in a holistic manner, and it will definitely add in the holistic development of the student. Book promotion policy and digital libraries will be created. Holistic report card, that is use of artificial intelligence for identifying specific aptitude of child. What I told, the report card which has been designed, which will come to us, with self-assessment, peer assessment, teacher assessment, that will enable the artificial intelligence will play a role to find out what is the real aptitude of each and every child, what the child is good at, what are the core strengths of the student, so that those strengths can be facilitated further. So results of the school examination will be used only for developmental purposes of the school education, for public disclosure by schools of their overall student outcomes, anonymized student outcomes, for continuous monitoring and improvement of the schooling system. So there will be progress in project-based and inquiry-based learning. There will be quizzes, role plays, group work, portfolios, etc. Progress in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains will be recorded in the report card through the interactive questionnaires for parents, teachers, and students. Those questionnaires will enable the discovery of the particular skills hidden in the child, so that it will further throw some light on the particular field the child is able to good at. So vocational education integration from primary grades and a 10 days internship with local trades and crafts for grades 6 to 8 will definitely enable the child in the holistic development. Guidelines will be prepared by NCERT for the assessment in consultation with the major stakeholders such as Board of Assessment, National Assessment Center for School Education, etc. And this transformation in the assessment system will be implemented by 2022-23 academic session. These centers will advise the schools about the further course of action. Okay. So now I request the parents to unmute and ask the questions if they would like to put here. Any question, please.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
I'm Samrudh Mohanty's mother. My son Samrudh Mohanty is in class 7. Yes. He'll be going to class 8.
Yes.
So I just want to ask that this NEP, so will it be implemented this session?
This session it is going to be implemented, but not for your child. It will be implemented. We are expecting the curriculum framework to come for class 9. Who will be appearing board examination in 2022-23.
Okay.
But we are expecting the changes to be implemented regarding the vocational education. We have already received the circular.
Okay.
That is why I sensitize and request all the parents to encourage your child to learn or take some course online mode on coding or data science or artificial intelligence. They should be acquainted with, because these are the buzzwords which are going to rule the further course of curricular or pedagogical structure. So your child should not be lagging behind.
Okay, so my son will be in class 8.
Yeah.
So that means the NEP will not be applicable to him. When he goes
applicable in a subtle way. Gradually they are obviously, because for class 9, if they are going to implement in the next session, class 9 is the first class, so class 8 obviously it will be percolated to class 8, of course.
That means the assessment that is said that in class 8, that will be according to the new policy, or the regular ones will be continued.
We are still waiting for the new guideline. This is the whatever I told, this is what we have received. The planning is going on. So I'm sensitizing the parents to be prepared and encourage the children not to mostly depend on memorization, but on the creativity and comprehensive ability has to be developed. Thanks everybody.